Item 29 is a resolution to designate April 24th, 2021 as Armenian Genocide Commemoration Day in the city and county of San Francisco, and urging President Joseph Biden to formally recognize the Armenian Genocide on the San Francisco Board of Education to reaffirm its commitment to teaching the historical facts of the Armenian Genocide in our public schools.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Supervisor Peskin.
Thank you, President Walden. First, I want to thank the members of the public and the Armenian community for their testimony earlier today. I'd also like to thank Supervisor Safai for his co-sponsorship. This is a resolution that I think I've introduced every year that I've been a member of the Board of Supervisors, 14 years, recognizing the first genocide of the last century. But what has changed, in addition to the fact that we have two new members of the board who were not here when we voted on this last year, is that in this city, unthinkably but true, in July and September of 2020, we had two Armenian hate crimes in the city and county of San Francisco. One of them, the arson fire at the Armenian Cultural Center, which subsequently Mayor Breed and many of us attended in solidarity with the Armenian community, as well as the vandalization of the Armenian school on Brotherhood Way in District 7. What has also changed to the good is that our newly elected President of the United States has set forth a commitment to finally formally recognizing the Armenian genocide. And if we do not acknowledge and embrace that history, we are destined to repeat it. Having said all of that, colleagues, you're all in receipt of a small non-substantive change at page 3, line 6, a whereas provision that states the California Department of Education includes the Armenian genocide and its history, social science content standards and framework, including resources for teachers to facilitate thoughtful classroom discussions. So I'd like to make an amendment to put that recital in on said page at line 6. So I'd like to make that motion and then would like to pass it as amended.
Hello, my name is Roxanne Makasdjian. On behalf of the Armenian National Committee and the entire San Francisco Armenian American community, I'd like to thank you ahead of time in hopeful anticipation for your passage of the resolution commemorating the Armenian genocide and calling on President Biden to do the same. I'd like to specifically thank Supervisor Peskin for introducing the resolution and for his long-standing, unwavering, and passionate support of this issue. In passing this resolution, you'll be acting as a force for truth and as a force for resistance against the ongoing campaign of denial and continuing genocidal aggression of the government of Turkey and its ally Azerbaijan, who together recently carried out a devastating attack against the Armenian region of Artsakh, claiming all along the way that they were completing the unfinished job of their grandparents. The photo that I hope you'll see as I speak, it was taken during San Francisco's 4th of July parade in 1918. The Turkish government had just wiped out its Armenian population, killing more than 1.5 million Armenians, as well as Greeks and Assyrians, stealing and appropriating their community and personal properties, and forcing the few survivors to flee forever. These Armenian Americans in the photo, a world away in San Francisco, were joining in the celebration of America's independence and feeding for support for the independence of the small sliver of Armenia that had escaped destruction. As a gesture of thanks, our community rallied to preserve Mount Davidson Cross for our fellow citizens, a place to visit, meditate, remember the past, and dedicate ourselves to seeking justice for all. That became especially necessary this year in the face of a major arson attack against our community center, gunshots and threatening graffiti against our day school.
Hello, my name is Father Smpad Saboundjian. I'm a resident of San Francisco and the parish priest of St. Gregory Armenian Apostolic Church. I would like to express my gratitude to the Board of Supervisors for joining Armenian Americans across the Bay Area, California, and the United States in commemorating the 106th anniversary of the Armenian Genocide. The Turkish authorities planned and executed unspeakable atrocities against the Armenian people from 1915 through 1923, resulting in the murder of 1.5 million Armenians and the forced exile of more than 500,000 innocent people and the expropriation of their lands and all community properties. The American people contributed substantially to the survival of those who escaped the Armenian Genocide through the humanitarian efforts of the Near East Relief Foundation. In the aftermath of the genocide, the city of San Francisco, like many more other cities, welcomed Armenians with open arms. And as a message of thanks to San Francisco, we act as a custodians for the Mount Davidson cross. Unfortunately, the hate that our ancestors fled from 106 years ago is still alive. In July and September of 2020, KZV Armenian School was attacked with anti-Armenian graffiti and gunshots, and our church offices and cultural center was destroyed by arson. While the Republic of Turkey denies the occurrence of these well-documented and widely recognized crimes against humanity, the United States House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate passed resolutions in 2019 recognizing this event as a genocide. The White House has yet to do so. It's our hope that President Biden will follow suit and formally recognize the Armenian genocide this year. San Francisco's continued support of this resolution sends an important message to those who are trying to terrorize us by rejecting fear. Thank you.
Supervisor Ronan.
Yes, thank you, Supervisor Peskin, for your constant advocacy on this subject, and please add me as a co-sponsor.
Thank you, Supervisor Ronan. Supervisor Melgar.
Thank you so much, Supervisor Peskin, for introducing this resolution marking the 106th anniversary of one of the most heinous, horrific crimes against humanity known to us, the murder of over 1.5 million Armenians by the Ottoman Empire, and for having consistently supported this cause to bring attention of the world, and for the last 14 years of introducing resolutions. Yet to this day, there continues to be an official policy of denialism by the Turkish government and Azerbaijan that this ever happened. It has been a painful and tumultuous time for the Armenian community. Here in District 7, which is home to the Cross and the Armenian School, we have seen the vandalism and the hatred and how that has caused fear and insecurity for the community and for the kids who attend the Armenian school and their families. Our places of refuge should not be places of fear, and we must consistently condemn these acts. And we need to remind ourselves and remind the world that this kind of hatred will continue to rise if we don't at least acknowledge the mistakes and the terrible things that have happened in the past. The defending human rights is not only a global issue, but it is one that we must embed locally. This Sunday, the Armenian National Committee of America Bay Area chapter is organizing a commemoration to recognize the lives stolen by the Armenian genocide, but to also acknowledge the resiliency of the Armenian people and to instill hope that history will not repeat itself again. So colleagues, I hope you can join us all at the Mount Davidson Cross in District 7 at 1 p.m. this Sunday. And again, thank you very much, Supervisor Peskin, for your continual support of the community.
See you there.
Thank you, Supervisor Melgar. Supervisor Safai.
Thank you. Very well said, Supervisor Melgar. Thank you, Supervisor Peskin, for always bringing this forward and ensuring that we're shining the light on this horrific genocide. Just wanted to make on a cultural note, many of the Armenians that are here in San Francisco are Armenian Iranian, and that is because of the long history between Armenia and Iran, and many fled Armenia in refuge to Iran, and that was a great part of that history, and that they did not partake and actually defended against many of the atrocities that have happened over the centuries, but particularly in this last 100 years. So very proud to support you, Supervisor Peskin, in this resolution, and Supervisor Melgar for all your great work in your district that as it's home to the largest Armenian American community in San Francisco. So thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Safai. Supervisor Stephanie.
Thank you, President Walton. I too want to thank Supervisor Peskin for this resolution. As you know, Supervisor Peskin, we were at the event together at St. Gregory, the Illuminator Armenian Apostolic Church in District 2 after the arson, and we all came together and united, in support of the Armenian community. And I just want to thank you for continuing to advocate, and I'd like to be a co-sponsor for the resolution.
And Mr. President, I have just received a...
Hold on one second, Supervisor Peskin. If you want to get back on the roster, I will most certainly accommodate that.
Thank you. Yeah, I've received a message that it's actually on Saturday and not on Sunday. Sorry.
Thank you, Supervisor Peskin. Supervisor Haney.
Thank you, and I would love to be added as a co-sponsor, and thank you, Supervisor Peskin, for your leadership. Not only do we have a genocide and atrocities that have long been denied, and that I know families are still impacted by, and the denialism also has its continued persecution and trauma, but also we've had, as folks have said, acts of violence and discrimination against the Armenian community here in San Francisco. So I wanted to share my solidarity and appreciation also for Supervisor Melgar for your leadership in your district, and Supervisor Stephanie. And I would love to know when that event is so I can come and join you all as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Haney. Supervisor Mandelman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Please add me as a co-sponsor.
Thank you, Supervisor Mandelman. And Supervisor Preston.
Thank you, Mr. President. I believe my staff already reached out about co-sponsoring this item, but in case that is not in the record, please add me as a co-sponsor. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor. We've captured Supervisor Ronan, Stephanie, Haney, Mandelman, and Preston.
Thank you. And 1 second, Supervisor Peskin, I do see you on the roll. Supervisor Mark.
Please add me as a co-sponsor as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor.
Thank you. And I would also like to be added as a co-sponsor. Madam Clerk, Supervisor Peskin.
Sorry for that interruption, Mr. President, and I just wanted to correct. The commemoration is actually Saturday, not Sunday, at 1 p.m. at Mount Davidson.
Thank you, Supervisor Peskin. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
On the amendment to item 29, Supervisor Mandelman.
Aye.
Mandelman, aye. Supervisor Marr.
Aye.
Marr, aye. Supervisor Melgar.
Aye.
Melgar, aye. Supervisor Peskin.
Aye.
Peskin, aye. Supervisor Preston.
Aye.
Preston, aye. Supervisor Ronan.
Aye.
Ronan, aye. Supervisor Safai.
Aye.
Safai, aye. Supervisor Stephanie.
Aye.
Stephanie, aye. Supervisor Walton.
Aye.
Walton, aye. Supervisor Chan.
Aye.
Chan, aye. And Supervisor Haney.
Aye.
Haney, aye. There are 11 ayes.
Thank you. And without objection, this resolution is adopted unanimously.
The amendments, Mr. President.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
My apologies.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
The amendments are passed unanimously. Now, the roll call on the resolution as amended.
On item 29, as amended, Supervisor Mandelman.
Aye.
Mandelman, aye. Supervisor Marr.
Aye.
Marr, aye. Supervisor Melgar.
Aye.
Melgar, aye. Supervisor Peskin.
Aye.
Peskin, aye. Supervisor Preston.
Aye.
Preston, aye. Supervisor Ronan.
Aye.
Ronan, aye. Supervisor Safai.
Aye.
Safai, aye. Supervisor Stephanie.
Aye.
Stephanie, aye. Supervisor Walton.
Aye.
Walton, aye. Supervisor Chan.
Aye.
Chan, aye. And Supervisor Haney.
Aye.
Haney, aye. There are 11 ayes.
And without objection, this resolution is adopted. This amended resolution is adopted unanimously.